What'd you do with your phone? Because I'm going to need it to see.
I really didn't.
All
All I did was put the car back to the chairs. What ones that need to be on?
Probably just regular YouTube. Or
What blues?
that's all I'm sure I would do is I'm to hear that. It's that pizza.
That
Ah.
should notify. Somewhere.
Hey, it's working.
Awesome. But where?
Hey guys, we're just trying to figure out where we can see your questions on here. So give me just a second. Can I have the phone, please?
Trying to learn. Right there.
Hola. I don't want to hear myself talk. Perfect. Sorry about last night, everybody. Technical difficulties, huh? Worked out well because I knew Jeff and Josh and Limpy all went live on Gangster's Paradise information.
So we can put people in timeout on this.
Josh Miller. Hope everything's well.
We'll close that. See how big of a delay it is.
Please tell me you put the name back on the car. So,
Not yet.
hold on. Let me get into that. You were asked to measure it. And did you measure the front bumper?
It's a solid 10 inches.
It's different than the other one. I'm freezing.
I'm really liking the idea of just painting it on with a paintbrush.
Several people have asked to get us the sticker and they need the measurements for it. We just haven't done that yet.
I don't know how it's going to look on this front end because there's not a big platform. It's just it's got a small valance on it, whereas the other one had a bigger valance. So unless it goes up on the bumper itself, I just don't think it's going to be big enough. It's not going to look right. So my thoughts was, just get a paintbrush and some white paint and paint it on there.
I'm not painting it. Because I'm not getting yelled at.
Allie will. She don't care. Yeah.
Old Blue says you'll make it look awesome.
Who?
Old Blue.
Old Blue. We'll try. Let's.
Travis Mounts. What is the maximum size tire you can run on a stock suspension Fox body?
I mean, it depends on which way you want to go, and I'm not 100% sure because I know GTs have the ground effects that kind of get in the way. I mean, you have to do some modification, some massaging, I should say, and delete the quad shocks. But I know you can fit a 10-inch wheel with a 28-10.5 on.
Let us know if that doesn't answer your question in the comments, and we'll try to get some more info on it.
The rep car, it was a stock with rear end. Before I mini tubbed it, I run a 28-10.5, a 275 radial on a 10-inch wheel with a 6.5-inch backspace.
Let me try to hit some volume here.
Is it not loud enough?
Okay, let us know if that's better. I just turned it up full blast.
Should have brought the microphones.
Yeah.
You know where they're at?
Not at the moment. Robert Smith, Pennywise Racing. Is it true that CJ takes your underwear and wears them? Absolutely yes. That's why I have his boxers.
You want to see? I'll show you right now.
No, you will not. Let's see here. Tammy Hayden, what is Raggedy Ann's history? Kind of depends on if you were talking about the new car or the old car.
Yeah, If you can be a little more specific on that, we can try and get some answers.
Yeah, if you want to know both, I mean, it's kind of a lengthy history on the old one, but just let us know which one. Try to answer that. Jamie Kreider, I'm sorry if I tell everybody your names wrong. I'm not very good at them. Can't wait for us to come to North Carolina so you can meet.
Hopefully we can get there soon.
I know Digger Die's coming up next month. We did not walk into that with the car still being barely new.
I'm having problems getting it down good surfaces right now. So going to a poor surface until I learn the car a little more is going to be rough. Not saying that I won't do it or it won't happen, but I'm trying to focus on a surface and then move to a different until I get several surfaces. That way I've got an idea where I need to be. If I'm jumping from surface to surface to surface, I'm going to get really confused and not really figure any of them out for a long time.
So hopefully we'll make it for December's Digger Die.
Yeah, we can try and shoot for
That as a goal.
And the more I learn about the electronics and how to control power and whatnot, and the more the car gets dialed in, it may come sooner than that. We seem to be doing okay, I think, with it being my personal knowledge. I don't have a whole lot of it. Like the other car was just trial and error, and it took years to get it figured out. So
Let me tell you something. I'm going to stop you right there. He changes like 5 things at a time instead of doing one and see if one works. And
it's because they're all wrong.
he did it with the old car, and it took him a while to kind of get settled in and then know what he was changing to do what. He's going through that process with this car as well, and
A lot of it
it's him.
is with that car. Like, if it did something, I pretty much knew the 3, 4, 5 things that I could change to make it better, to make it work. And with this one, I'm still kind of in that mindset. So I am changing more than one thing at a time, but
It's driving us crazy.
we are heading in the right direction.
Yes.
So,
So he's doing something right. I don't know what 4 things it is.
it might just be one of the 4.
There we go. Let's see here. I'm trying to go down the order here, and I apologize if I miss you.
It says on that thing that you can put delays in there so you don't get overwhelmed real
I
fast.
know. I'm keeping track of it so far until everybody gets on here.
Hopefully these do get better. I forgot my smart for you guys.
Let me know when that works.
It's really not working.
Let's see here. The question we get a lot, will you ever go turbo? We've explained that in past videos, but you want to kind of tap on that a little bit.
I don't want to go turbo with the Raggedy Ann car because it's always been nitrous. I still feel that nitrous in a lot of cases is where it's at, and the Raggedy Ann car was always a poor surface car. It was never really good on a good surface. Not saying that I won't ever go turbo. It depends on nitrous supply, and as long as I can afford to be nitrous, I would like to keep it nitrous. But at the point that I can not afford to get nitrous, yeah, once I can't afford to get it, or I can't, I might start looking into turbo, but there's no plans for that to happen anytime soon. I do, once I get this thing lined out or get some room to breathe and get her car, transmission's about done for it, and get the transmission in it and get it all figured out to where she can just hop in it, drive it wherever, whenever, I can get maybe back on the turbo car of mine, and we'll see how that all goes, because building this car is completely made me not want to build another one, to be honest. Like, it's
Give him a year off and he'll be back at it, I promise.
there's a whole lot of hell, and then a lot of it is we jumped, like, I didn't even get to test the car, we jumped right into racing. So it's trying to figure it out in competition, and it's just not the way to do it for anybody. Don't ever do that.
Well, let's not self-doubt yourself here. It's only been a
Okay.
month and it's come a long way.
I'm not doubting. It's just that you can't really try stuff when you're in competition. You got to go with what is working at that point. So hopefully with the other car or this one comes around, realistically, I think a lot of the big races are about done. I'm asking you because you schedule everything.
Well, they're saying talk a little louder. I know CJ has a little bit of hearing issues, so when he talks, he sometimes doesn't talk loud enough. So that's why you hear me yell at him all the time.
She just yells because that's what women do.
No. Okay. So yes, most of the we still have a few big races coming up.
I'm just get some testing.
Yes.
Just solid testing races and a competition.
Next month, I was going to try to go over that with you before we started about the races for next month so we can announce them. But most of them aren't 2-day heavy hitters. They're still adequate races, but it leaves for a little bit more time of testing. So hopefully we'll be able to do that in July.
I'm kind of letting go of the button and hoping I react fast enough to what the car does. That's kind of where I'm at with it right now.
But as of last testing, we are going straight. So
on that surface,
just depends on another surface.
yeah, with that tune, I guess, in it.
Speaking of tuning, Scott Story, have you ever thought about doing some nitrous tuning tutorials? At least your way on how you approach your tuning.
No, I haven't. And I've got boxes of pistons up there as to why. Like I said, the smart water doesn't help. So, but no, I still lean on other people. Honestly, a lot. I've been a lot more on my own with this car this time than I have been with the other car in the past. When it was up to me,
But maybe it closer just a little bit.
why don't you go get the microphone?
Because I don't know where they're at right now.
Whenever it was up to me, about every time I went out, I would hurt something. Now I have gotten a lot more knowledge about it.
And you got Garrett.
Well, Garrett's not reading the plugs, but Garrett with Fuel Tech is the reason the car is doing what it's doing, is like electronically. And I pulled my tunes from the other car. I wrote everything down before I pulled everything out. And whenever we set this back up, I kind of put it in the same and then pulled a couple extra degrees of timing out of it just to ensure that we've got a good starting point. So it was pretty safe whenever we started. I do have some defined timing marks. I'm still not seeing heat in the plug, but I've got timing marks. I can see fueling, so we're on the right track. It's not been on 2 kits yet, it's only been on 1 kit. And highly contemplating turning the 2nd kit on for this weekend. I'm not 100% sure what it's going to do unless we can get out and make some passes somewhere before we go. But it should be a hell of a ride anyway.
Old Blue, what race are we going to next? That'd be this weekend, Gangster's Paradise at
Gangster's
Brown County. As long as the weather announcement's good tomorrow. The race after that will be Limpy Happy's Cash Days at the Hill at KD.
Yep.
That following weekend.
KD Dragway, or KD Motorsports Park.
Yeah, and South Salem, Ohio.
Southwester.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking of another one.
See what I got put up with.
Getting old. Things are just, it's his fault. The other big one, I know there's a few before that, but the other big one would be Uncaged at the first weekend for Saturday in August at National Trails. That's a big one. A lot of people really like that one, so that's one we'll be on there. We will announce it just like we did last time. Each month we'll try to get that schedule out to you. Tammy, I'm sure we'll be at Driveway 42 sometime. I don't know what race.
Yeah.
We don't have anything on schedule for 42 right now, as of date.
Like I said, I'm still trying to figure out how to get it down the front side race, let alone the back side or a street. I would love to get it on a street and do a lot of street testing, but it'll come in time. Got to get it figured out. Suspension, chassis, just so much. Like I said, we jumped right into it. It was
Jesse Scott, what's your best time?
probably the first weekish with my wife. With a strong ish.
After that, it was all downhill.
There was some ups and a lot of downs.
Just the two kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been slow and we've been faster. So
Okay. Lots of good comments on here. Question: what ever happened to Bill?
I don't know if he's sitting out there or not, but
He was earlier.
yeah, I really don't know. He hasn't spoken to me.
Good. Speak up.
He has not spoken to me in quite some time. I'm not sure why. It's about a month into the new build. He was over here, and then he just wasn't here no more. And by the time I was building a car. By the time I realized it, it was like months down the road, and obviously there's a problem, and he did not confront about it or talk about it. So at that point, I'm like, if he ever wants to talk about it, I'm right here.
The ball's kind of in his court
It's
on that one.
absolutely.
I will say, we're neighbors, so we see him every day. But I know he's busy with his woodworking and he enjoys that. And I think I said at the beginning of our YouTube journey when we discussed us and life, in the past 20 years, there's been several people come and go for different reasons.
A lot of them.
And, Jerry Weiss gave us his reasoning. He was going to build a car. He had his family. Ron got married and he moved to Florida. So
I traded him off for some brownies.
Some brownies, yeah.
I ended up marrying her.
So,
Good Ron.
this isn't for everybody, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with it for different reasons. It just happens. But it kind of is what it is at this point.
Yeah, like I get the feeling that there's something wrong that he won't talk about. If he does in the future, that's great. At least it's out. But yeah, Bill was good to me. You know, he took good care of me. I have no real complaints about that.
Yeah, and
I don't know what happened.
I think maybe somebody had said something. Well, why don't you walk over there? Well, I think his reasoning is he's not the one that stopped the conversations or stopped. So he's kind of leaving it up to him.
If he wants to talk, I'm here. 100% I'm here.
So hopefully that answers that.
I hope so.
Yeah. Okay.
Can't really go into too much more in depth on it. Like, there's no hatred, there's no anger. We didn't have a big fight.
And as far as we know, his health's okay because he's out and about. So.
He just kind of went his own way for his own reasons.
Yeah, and that's
I
okay.
don't know anything about it.
I mean, it happens. Timothy Osha. We got a passing car. We got the doors open. I'm sorry. Any of the old cars set up working on the new one? The engine?
The old car set up as far as chassis or just parts off the old car? That's.
Yeah, can you elaborate on that question just a little bit? Or do you want
I used the engine, I used the transmission, rear end was trashed, wheels were trashed, the windshield is in it. All the electronics were still good, but we went to Fuel Tech and since taken all that back out of this, or actually dickhead gouged everything out of it.
When you say dickhead, you're referring to the wiring person? Okay.
I think he took a fucking hammer and just beat the shit out of it.
Oh, you had to bring that up.
But
Okay.
anyway.
I'm trying to keep it nice here.
Shifter, steering wheel. I think that's it. I've got one door that I've got on it. We've actually got a guy that's supposed to fix the other door that is pretty bad off. He's got some work ahead of him, but he wants to fix it. The hood, because it wasn't on the car. And I think that's about it. Then you got the fuel pump, the water pump, fan. The radiator was still good. So there was quite a few usable parts for as bad as trashed up as the car was. There's quite a few usable parts off of it. Like previous video showed that the engine at some point landed upside down, full throttle, in the mud, ingested a bunch of mud into the cylinders, and you know, we were fortunate enough through that there was no rocks or anything went through the valves, beat the valves up, bent valves, nothing like that at all. We done a mild valve job on it out at Brown's Racing Service, and I cleaned everything up, put it back together.
What size motor is in the car?
427 cubic inches, small block Ford.
Speaking of, I'm going to stop you right here. Old parts on the car. We've been doing waffles routes live at the track when we're there. So if you've gotten the wreckage pieces off the old Raggedy Ann car, my ideal for Gangster's Paradise piece is the wing off the old car. I'm not sure. He hasn't said, gave me a yes on that yet for sure, but that's my plan. Somebody, John Wally, sorry again if I said it wrong, how much do you spray?
It depends.
Whatever it takes.
Right now it's got 250 horse in it, and that's all it's been on. I've sprayed 500, depends on the surface, but usually with that car, I could spray it with 500 horse on a virgin street, and it would get down it. Well, like I said, I knew that car a lot better, I knew the electronics a lot better, I knew how to manage it. This one not so much, because this one kit with a small jet in it is giving me fits. It's just, the power is so different, and I don't know whether it's the fuel tech, I don't know if it's the chassis, I don't know what it is. It's just, it seems like there's a whole lot more there than what there was with that car. So I don't know, maybe the chassis was just soaking all the power up. We'll know more the further we get into it, the more I learn about it, the more dialed in I get it, and the more I test, figure stuff out. But the goal is to spray it with whatever it will take. If I've got timing to put more on it, that's the goal.
Robert, of course, sorry Robert, that's my fault. I know we mentioned your brother Ron, but yes, you was a crew member and you left us to go to North Carolina, which was a great thing because you introduced Digger Die to our life, and it's worked out well. We'll get back down to see you soon, absolutely.
Yeah,
and
one brother went to Florida, one brother went to North Carolina.
And Highland, the honey from Katie, I'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Had some pretty good times in the Carolinas with that car though.
Yeah.
I will give that one. I think, what was it? One of the times I went down there, I just hopped in the truck, went down there by myself, and Robert was there to take care of me and line me up with pour puddles and stuff like that. And the Hodgkinsons has been there whenever I was running around by myself. Just so many people, I can't even remember all of them, picking somebody I knew out of the crowd.
You met Mike and Cody down there, and
yeah.
they've been helped. Vincent, did you ever get your 6.0 fixed, CJ?
Are they ever really fixed? I did though, and it's running good, but it's developed a hell of an oil leak.
It's got a little bit of a problem where if it's left sit, then we have problems.
We haven't had that issue though since I fixed it this last time.
Yeah, we have.
It's always started.
Is it leaking?
But it started.
It's leaking.
I don't get it either, because I ran the absolute dog shit out of it whenever I got it together.
You let it sit. You can't let it sit.
No, I haven't. It's just whenever I first got it together and I was cleaning the cooling system out, like, that thing was 115, 120 mile an hour for just miles straight. Just run if it was going to blow up or break, it should have done it then. Dry as a bone, everything perfect. A little while later, it starts leaking oil. So I got to figure that out. Which, whenever I was doing it, there wasn't like the oil filter tower, all that aluminum stuff. There was some screws that were stripping, and it needs new stuff. But like, it's running strong, it's running good. It's just leaking oil, and I haven't even taken the time to figure out where it's leaking from.
No, getting down to Florida this past weekend was a big old cluster mess, and
Yeah.
we rented a van, and 2 days before we left for Florida, they told me the van was not available, and I'm like, what are we gonna do? Because even though we
She
have a
calls
van,
me at work and asks me if I think her van will make it to Florida.
because Mom and Dad gave us the red van for Darren, and God love him, it's a nice offer. You know, we use it for Darren, I use it for work, but it has a lot of maintenance issues. So
Some bitch made it to Florida.
and back, but I don't know if it'll make it much else. It's got some more issues, but it did get us to where we needed to go.
Yeah.
And it involves CJ doing some work that kind of fixed the issues, but we kind of found out there was more issues, so that's just part of it, but it did what it needed to do.
It wasn't too bad.
No, because my comment to the rent-a-car place, they were going to try to give us a full-size SUV, and it's like, that's a lot more gas, and I don't know if that's going to fit 4 of us, luggage in a wheelchair.
It would.
But it would have been
Just a lot more money.
a lot
is
more
what it
money,
was. We
so.
took the money, some of the money and put it into her van and just drove it.
Yeah, and then we got down there and found out that we had to pay for hotel parking every day, and then we had to pay for event parking every day, and then we had to pay, obviously, tickets to watch our own kid play volleyball.
Yep.
But that's just part of it. It wasn't our best family trip. Could have been better.
Damn sure wasn't a vacation.
It was not
If
a
anybody
vacation.
asks if we had a good vacation,
It was
wasn't a
not a vacation. It was 4 days of volleyball
A bunch of attitude.
from both of us, and also, you know, Darren being restricted because it was so hot down there. It wasn't good for him. So,
Anyway.
well, back to the questions. Somebody said, I'm in the belief you should not be nice about the first wiring guy because you're talking about him could save someone else a lot of money and heartache by using him.
100%.
100%.
Believe that.
Believe that. However, I will also say that
If you go back in the videos, you'll know who it is.
it
Like,
tells you.
It's there. Whenever I first took the car to be wired, like it's all there.
And we even asked him if he wanted to be in the video or not. We left that in his court and whether he wanted to be disclosed or not. And he said it was fine, so that's
Right.
why he was in the video.
I imagine at some point I'll start talking freely, but it's just a bad subject.
Yeah.
The car was put months behind on coming
Mhm.
out. Cost me money that technically I didn't have.
And
I sold shit and made it happen to get it to him and get the stuff that he wanted, needed, and all that stuff.
and we're indebted to Joey for fixing
Yeah.
the crazy.
Joey Byers comes in and throws his cape around, starts fixing everything, cleaning it up. We ended up just ripping it all out, but we've got the front half done, for the most done. Still got a few sensors to hook up, and we haven't messed with the back half yet. So I am nervous as shit after what we pulled out of the front, going out with the back half possibly being the same. And I'm just hoping it lasts long enough and we don't have any issues or problems before we get to being able to get to the back half of the car. The videos show it all. I mean, it's
Yeah, if you go back
it's
and watch
just-
it. I will.
I don't understand how somebody can call themselves a professional and do something like that and throw big names like Devin Vanderhoof out there. And you know, I talked to him, and if I have any problems, consult with him. Got him on speed dial or whatever. We talk all the time, and like, he's a pretty bad dude. I don't think he would associate with the shit that was given to me.
On that particular subject, I will also say, you know, it's a bad deal. It is, but if the comment would have been made, I messed up, I chewed off more than I can handle, I didn't know what I was doing, how can I help make it right? probably would have softened the blow a little bit.
Or just not let me come from Indiana to Elizabethtown, Kentucky to pick the car up, knowing that it was nowhere even close to being done.
I don't think they knew that word.
And
So
then not now that we're on it,
it will go.
not bringing
So-
it here and dropping it off and damn near the same shape of it not being done when it was supposed to be done.
At the end of the 2 weeks, CJ was supposed to pick up the car.
Then asking me to finish it.
He was in Indianapolis with Allie at a volleyball tournament and left her in the hands of parents that we did not know very well to get her home to go pick up a car that wasn't ready. So it really left a bad taste in his mouth that he left her, and she played the best game that she ever
But
played.
the whole time I'm on the way, like talking to him, it's all good.
Everything's
It's
ready.
good.
We
Yeah,
go.
we're good.
So it was just numerous incidents like that throughout the time, and it kind of hit home the last video we did. I think it had Joey in it of the wiring being repaired when you had the spark. Like,
Yeah.
not only did he mess up the car, but he left it in such safe shape that if CJ would not have went back in and repaired things, it could have killed him.
It probably caught on fire. Like,
It could have took his life. So that just, it made me mad
and
again.
I've said, I don't know if I've said this on video or not though. It's like somebody paid him, or he had. It's almost like somebody paid him to screw up every single thing he did.
Because it was that bad.
Everything.
Yeah.
Enough on that. You guys are depressing me.
Yeah, Robert's coming out in August, so we'll see you then.
Awesome.
Absolutely. When are you going to give rides at the track? And wouldn't that be a crazy ride? Now, let me tell you, there was a woman a few years ago that asked if she could sit on his nitrous bottle while he took her a ride.
Yeah. If it wasn't the nitrous bottle, she would now. I'm not big into giving rides because anything can happen. If I had a passenger in that car when that happened, likely wouldn't be here right now.
You let kids sit in the seat, though.
Yeah, I mean, kids can sit in it, stuff like that, but as far as going for a ride down the track, it's probably not going to happen. Maybe in this car, in her car, because it's got a passenger seat, it's got seat belt. I mean, it's a street car. We can do rides in that all day long, but the Raggedy Ann car is probably not going to happen. There's 2 bottles sitting in the passenger seat. There's no safety belts over there. There's no, I mean, it's just, it wouldn't be safe.
Yeah. Let's see. Tyler Cox, testing tomorrow, question mark.
Where at?
I don't know, Tyler, where? You tell us, get a hold of us. Eric from Atlanta South says hi. He's in Atlanta.
Eric.
I can't say his last name. I'll butcher it. I'm sorry. You know who he is.
Satkowski.
Thank you. Yes, Eric.
Specifically.
Remember you.
Satkowski.
Yes. That looks good.
Yeah, hopefully. Said he's where?
Atlanta South.
Yeah.
How's the tuning curve going? Do you feel like you're wrapping your head around fuel tech tuning?
Getting a little better with it.
The plan is for him to take the class. We just don't know when.
I can't get a week off work anytime soon, so that's a big hinderer. But I am, and honestly, when I do go to take the class, I would really like to have some sort of idea and have better knowledge of it so that I can pick up on everything that they're trying to teach and show. Because like I've said, it's some pretty badass shit. And the more I see somebody experienced working with it, or like talking with Garrett, asking him if it does this or if it can do this, like say I was talking actually with Tyler about Holly and the data logs, and you have to basically name the tune that data log come from the same, so you can try to distinguish what tune went with what data log and all that, whereas Fuel Tech does all that. Like you can get the tune from that data log, from the data log. It's all right there. It just does some really, really cool stuff. And I'm trying to learn the power management side of it a little better. And there's just, man, there is so much that it can do though. trying to learn one way to power manage, and then I can graduate into another way, or try to teach myself new ways to use it, because it just does so much. And I've only got a 550. I believe they've got the 700 coming out that is supposed to be like the best thing since sliced bread. It's supposed to be pretty badass. I can't like speak highly enough about them as a team, as a company, a business, with all the support that they've given. I still don't have my head wrapped around 100% like how to set some of it up. But as far as going in and moving around the Nitrous controller side of it, and the timing, what I'm doing with my timing and stuff like that, I'm kind of getting a decent grasp. I'm not saying by any means I'm good, but I can get timing out of it. Reading the data logs, I still don't know a whole lot what I'm looking at other than RPM, and I can see, nitrous and duty cycle, and it just shows so much. I'm learning. It's a lot.
It is a lot, and he's asked me to try to jump in sometimes to help with internet and stuff like that. And I'm learning a little bit too, but not enough to where I would want to jump in and tune something for him, because for one, I don't need another reason to argue with my husband about anything. So
She can't kill me with poison, she'll kill me with power.
you're gonna be in trouble when this is done.
Fuel Tech,
Yeah,
it's badass.
absolutely.
And like I said, they've been on the phone with me for hours at a time. Team you in, help me figure stuff out, and just set stuff up, program it, diagnose, troubleshoot. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah. What brand wiring are you using in the new car?
I think it's come from ProWire and TXL. Yeah.
Okay. We've mentioned several times, we are going to Gangster's Paradise. Our name's on the list. So, we went over that. And,
Am I supposed to elaborate on that?
yeah, I'm just...
Start quacking around like a duck. Quack, quack.
Okay, did you start with the same instant center and anti-squat values as the old car? Same shock valving? Good question.
Oh. No, I didn't. And I can tell you this because we did put the torque boxes in the best that we could in the same spot for my center hole as the stock ones in this car. We measured everything in that car. It's an 89 notchback. That's an 89 notchback. But 8.8 rear end mounting side, the side that mounts on the rear end, the 8.8 is different than my 9-inch was in this car. So I think my upper control arm mounts on the rear end side were a little taller, and I believe my lower rear end mount for the lower control arms were dropped lower. I don't know where it was on the other car, and it was too trashed up to be able to get any numbers off of it. So no, we didn't. They are in the same spot. Or the torque boxes are. I've got like my center hole in the lowers is in the stock point, and then I think it was the center furthest forward hole on the uppers was in the stock location. So I really don't even know where to start because I don't know where that car was. Like I said, years of haggling with it and driving the shit out of it, making changes, seeing how it does. And honestly, I think I brushed a wall. At some point, I hit something and the car started going straight. So.
Yeah, little dings to the left, little dings to the right, and straighten it all out. I will say, CJ made the comment the other day that this one drives a lot better. He's just adjusting to it.
Yeah, like the KD my pass at KD, whenever we was down at KD, my first round pass, that was just absolutely horrible. But it was side to side the whole way down. I was counter steering the whole way down, but it never felt out of control. It was like I could feel it grabbing, I could feel it sticking, I could feel it grabbing, feel it sticking, and it was motivating. Whereas this car, whenever it got stupid like that, like I would lose it. It didn't just recover and keep going. It would get off. I don't know if it's because it's floppy. Again, that car was really, really floppy and loose, and this one's not. So I don't know if that's got something to do with it. I don't know with the suspension tuning. That's what I spent the biggest part of today trying to figure out, pulling numbers on all my control arms and all my holes and all that. And I want to try and figure out where it's sitting now, so I can try and make an educated guess on where to go with it, or just to try something. I can change a hole and see what it does and see what it likes. The shocks, I don't know 100% what the valving is in them. Jeff Thomas got my shocks. He actually took both sets of struts and my rear shocks and went through them. I know the Vikings were destroyed.
We'll close this door. Sorry.
The Viking struts were pretty much destroyed, and he rebuilt those out of I don't know what, because like the bodies were trashed. I mean, the whole damn struts were trashed. And I don't know what he valved. I'm just trusting him with it. With his valving, like he's done a lot of shocks and struts in what we do, so I've got to trust that he knows what the hell he's doing and what to put in them.
Yeah.
We couldn't give him a weight on the car, but it's kind of guessing it's average. I mean, there's thousands and thousands of box body Mustangs out there set up like this. So I don't know. I know the rears, and I don't think he really did anything because there was nothing wrong with them. Maybe just changed the fluid. He checked them out because they were in the fire and they did have a lot of smoke on them. I'm not 100% sure, but this car, maybe it's from where it's lighter, they just feel stiffer. So yeah, I don't know. He did give me extra inch or two, I think, on the Vikings, and I think another inch on my AFCOs. I can't remember, but he made them longer travel and all that good stuff. So.
Okay. Yes, we're aware of the 4-year pedals at Milan. We will be trying to hit some of those. We have those written down. What was your previous setup for your controller and ignition setup?
Nitrous Express Maximizer 5.
Which we still have an active waffle on that, so if anybody wants to jump on, it's on our Facebook page.
We're actually doing a waffle for one right now. Love to fill it up and get somebody a new Maximizer 5. I love that Nitrous controller. I kind of hated going away from it, but the Fuel Tech, it's all in it, so I'm learning the Fuel Tech way. And I had a MSD Digital 7 Plus ignition box that I did not know how to utilize, but I do know that they can do some pretty badass shit, and I just couldn't do it with it. So, anything else?
I'm just looking. Everybody's being encouraging. Can the 9-inch be straightened?
It's actually still at Roy Turner's, and he couldn't get his alignment bar through it. So I'm sure it can. I mean, they build 9 inches, so I'm sure somebody wanted to put the work into cutting the tubes out of it and retubing it. I don't see why it couldn't be straightened. I'm pretty sure he's actually willing to do. I mean, he'll build me a whole new rear end if I want. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure it can be straightened. I haven't personally seen it to see where it's been at as far as with the bar, and I imagine it's probably back together now. Hell, that was beginning of the build on this car when I dropped it off. I just have not made it back over there to it. I don't know. Like I knew my 9 inches. I've got gears for 9 inches. They're easy to swap and change stuff, but they also take more power to spin. So I wanted to give this 8.8 a shot and see what I can do with the 8.8. I do feel like it's probably over geared, and I'm gonna have to make a gear change in it to probably not send my engine into the next planet on 2 kits, but I don't know. Last time out at KD, it was breaking up on the big end. So, hopefully we got that taken care of. Time will tell. And if that's so, it's going to be making a good bit more RPM, I think, than it was going through the traps on 1 kit. So, I would imagine 2 kits is going to be a whole bunch of RPM.
Tyler Cox, your upper bars are extremely short. That will make the rear act totally different than your old setup. So
True.
that helps with that.
Yeah, I was playing with numbers on the, whatever that baseline suspension calculator, and like it's got the stock hole, and it wants the stock hole, but underneath of it, it says something like with their bars or their setup, and it's like what I've got there, and it's Jesus God, if that's the case, I've got so much anti-squat in that thing, it's pathetic.
Are you running weight bars? Car looks like it does not slam down and unload.
Weight bars. Like ballast? I think that's what he's talking about. I do have ballast that can go in and out of it. My first round at KD, I had ballast in it, and it wheelied, went left, acted all stupid, so we took the majority of it out, and it made good passes, so.
Mike says you guys just need to keep winning 50-50s until we have more money for gears.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. All the 50-50s we can win.
Let's see. Robert wants me to go back up and look at one of his other comments.
Uh-oh.
We're waiting for everybody to catch up here on their questions. Let me go see Robert. It's back there a minute.
So I'm gonna jump back on the Digital 7 Plus box. Whenever I was using it, I pulled all my timing out right off the rip. So for the first kit, I would pull all the timing out for that kit, and then like if it was my second kit, when it come in, it would pull timing, or whenever it was on the button, 3rd kit, depending on it. There at the end, I only had 2 kits, but when it was on the button, when I pushed the button, it would pull the timing for that kit. With this, I can, and I know with the Digital 7 Plus, I could ramp timing in and out, but I couldn't. Honestly, I was afraid to mess with it, because if I made a mistake, I was burning up a piston or a head or whatever. With this, it's like, it seems to be a lot easier to have that horizontal ramp. You can go horizontal, you can do the vertical. I think if you push I, it does something, interpolate. So we are ramping timing out and doing it with duty cycle. So if I lift and it's at 30% duty cycle, it's pulling timing for 30% duty cycle instead of the full amount of timing. And I think a lot of that is probably some of the power difference I'm feeling, which I like. Like, that's pretty cool. I've never been that far into it and done all that. I know when Jerry when me and Jerry was running around, Jerry was really good with numbers, and I'd be over there drooling on myself trying to stay awake, and he's over there like crunching numbers driving down the road. Driven for hours, or been awake for hours, and he's still going through numbers. But if I remember right, I think he come up with a timing ramp to put in it. I don't think we ever did it. I know one time I did it on my own here, and then went out and raced and got nervous, so I changed it back and screwed something up, and it ended up letting Kate Miller beat me. It was just.
So yeah, you can thank him for that.
I never went back for that. Or I never went back. I never went back and tried to refigure it out, because I forgot what I did and how I did it. I was just sitting here in the barn, wasting fuel, messing with it, and did it. But it was untested, and we was going out the street race, so I put back in it what I had in it, and I knew that worked, and then I messed something up, and I don't remember what it was, but man, it was a pooch. Yeah, I don't remember what it was, sorry.
Wasn't the night we went to Memphis?
No, you wasn't there. This is the
Okay.
night I ramped it up on the trailer when the cops came. Like, literally ramped it up on the trailer and sat in the car when the cop pulled up, started talking to us. Everybody else had already left.
Yeah, nowadays will take a car, huh? Let's see. In a previous video, you mentioned going to Tin Soldiers to have them help get your chassis set up. Is that still a possibility?
It's always a possibility, but I talked to Jason Terrell at 10 Soldiers, and he didn't feel that I needed to give them my money to do it. He was confident in the fact that I could do it. Nice enough to give me the numbers of where he thinks I should start at, and that's what I was doing today, trying to see where I was. I pulled a bunch of numbers. I'm trying to see where I am now and what I need to do to get to that point that he's thinking is really good. And he said that if I have any questions or anything, feel free to get a hold of him. Lucor aligned it, and they're confident Lucor's alignments and what they do, the work that they do. He said he's seen it. Everybody's confident with everybody, and he's just said that I don't need to bring it to him unless something happens or I'm having issues and I want to. But he said get a hold of him. Like 10 Soldiers that's pretty cool of him.
Robert, Pennywise, please re-comment on what you were talking about earlier. I missed it. I'm sorry, I can't find it. How's the price comparison on the Fuel Tech in your car and the Max 5 with Digital 7? Is it worth the extra money? Yes.
Like I said, I still love my Max 5 just because like it does a lot and I know how to use it. But the Fuel Tech, I didn't have a drive shaft speed sensor. Like that car had a drive shaft speed sensor on it for a couple years and it never worked. I never could get it to work. And I worked with Motion Race Works. I worked with Nitrous Express, all on the phone at the same time, trying to figure out what was going on with it, why it wouldn't work. But I had to run it through my Nitrous controller, not my MSD box. The sensors, all the sensors I can't have with the Digital 7 Plus. I would have to run another data logger. So yeah, it's all like the Fuel Tech is all. That's the ECU. It's everything. It's that big. So the weight is way down. It's just, and it does so much. All right there. It's got its own G meter. It's got its own map sensor. I mean, everything's all in it. And there's a lot more than that. That's just what's coming to mind. So what is a Digital 7 Plus? $1,000+ now. Max 5s.
Depends on if you went in a waffle.
Yeah, Max 5 depending on how you get that. So you got 15, let's say $2,000 in it, and you got $4,000 in the Fuel Tech, and it, like I said, just does. You've got a ton more sensors. It just does so much. It's the way of the future. At least for me.
Pennywise, Robert, will you be mad if he changes his car's name to Penny Ann since he has a bunch of parts from Raggedy Ann? So the legacy continues.
Yeah, like a little baby.
His little spawn. Raggedy Ann spawn. Tyler says, with unequal length bars, the initial anti-squat is different than the anti-squat as it separates. I don't know how much you want to talk on here. Love face.
I know on that baseline deal, like if I had 104% anti-squat on the stock mounting hole with I've got the Team Z upper bar set up, but with the baseline, which I'm assuming is pretty much the same deal, it's like 189% anti-squat. So there's a huge difference, and for me to get to the numbers that Tin Soldiers wants me at, I've got to make quite a few moves there to get it there, and I haven't figured out which ones is going to work to get me there with the suspension calculator yet. So it's just a bunch of different ups and downs, and try this, that, inner holes, outer holes, and so about wore my phone out punching numbers in it.
Those are his lungs. Won't breathe without him. Jester from Newton, Kansas. It's okay that you're late. That's fine. We're still here. Not a big deal. We'll be here for a minute. MS Moose, 1979. Don't know how we all do it, but it must be a family effort. Tip of the hat. Keep up the good work. We don't know how we do it sometimes. It's a hot mess. But it just works. Keeping the family part of it is important, so we try to leave time for that, but it gets a little hectic.
Yeah, I missed the first part of that.
Don't know how we all do it, but it has to be a family effort.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
We do it broke, honestly.
Yeah, that's everybody though, nowadays, right? Gas prices are high, groceries are high for everybody, so hopefully that starts to come back
I ain't
down.
even seen my paycheck, and it's gone. Like, we're going this weekend, that portion's gone.
Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna take the van maybe, I know, because so I can put those fuel tanks in it for, Nick.
You see if he even wants them still.
Yeah, if he doesn't want them, then we'll get that taken care of. Let's see, I kind of skimmed everybody. I think I got everybody. Let's see, of course we get the general, has Billy ran yet? Angie Pritchard begs to differ on that. You can ask her about that.
Another thing that could be a lot of the power deal is the carburetor. The ATM put the carburetor on it for me.
Top notch job.
And it's like, it works so much better than the one I had on it. So that's power right there, I'm sure. There's so much has went into this car to make it lighter, make it perform better, more power. So there's high expectations of it, and it's showing a lot of promising qualities.
Yeah, it's a little overwhelming at times.
Yeah,
For
it's
sure.
starting off with a whole fresh car that hasn't had anything set up on it. It's a bear.
Let's see here. Any plans on working on the Turbo Fox this summer or off-season project? Absolutely.
Mine?
Yes. Once we get our wind and get this one situated, there will be videos of that. Probably, I'd say in the winter, the off-season.
There's stuff I can do to it now if I have time. As far as being able to afford to buy stuff for it, I'm still in the hole on this car. So until I get dug out, there's not a whole lot that I'll be able to do other than what I already have and didn't use on this car. So I will probably get the engine set in it, build the tabs, do all that stuff once I get time. Like, I want to work on it and start that process, because I do still have a good bit of parts for it. Being it's turbo, nothing could be used on that as far as that goes. But yeah, I'm really, really, really excited about getting that car out, and I have been for the past 4 years or so. It's just never been able to come out. But
I know a lot of.
I feel like that's going to be a game changer, because that's power I've never had. Like, it's supposed to do 23 to 2,500 horse to the tires easy, and like, I think my crank is the limiting factor. I've never had no shit like that. So
I know that was a big question as we were rebuilding Raggedy Ann, why we just didn't switch over to that car, and I know it came up a few questions here and there, but the thing that we didn't understand, and that Raggedy Ann and it being nitrous meant so much to so many people. the response to rebuild that car, that as a nitrous car, was so overwhelming.
Yeah, I wanted to build it as a nitrous car anyway.
Yeah. So that's why we stuck to that one instead of just hopping over, switching gears to the turbo in a completely different car. It would not be Raggedy Ann, obviously.
Right, and I'm not oblivious to the power difference. Like, and I know the power is different, but this setup here, there's no reason it can't make 2,000 horsepower turbo. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't make, 1900, 2000, 1800 anyway, with boost. And it's 13-ish hundred. I don't even know where it's at now because since it's been dynoed, there's so many changes that's been made. But I'm gonna say it's 13-ish hundred, and maybe more than that now. But that's a huge gain just going turbo. And I've thought about all that. Like, if I can't get my hands on nitrous, I get pissed off, and I'm just gonna turbo it and this, that, and the other. But it's probably not gonna happen unless I just absolutely can't get nitrous.
We just give him some ice cream, let him calm down for a minute, and then he's okay with his feelings.
I don't have any nitrous yet for this weekend, so keep talking shit.
It'll happen. It always happens.
It typically happens tomorrow.
Yeah, it'll happen. Mike Smith, please paint the new car, the turbo car. Prayers, please. Mike, you gonna help with that one? I've seen you and CJ and Ryan Emmerich do some paint.
You want me to paint it?
The turbo.
What's wrong with the paint on that one?
No, it's still up for discussion on what that car will actually manifest into. Me and Allie wanted it called Annabelle because it's the evil twin because it's the other half of Raggedy Ann. But I know there's a car already out there that was called Annabelle, so really can't tread on that. CJ wants something completely different. He wants to pick the name this time, so I'm not sure how it will all pan out.
Cool and sexy.
Cool and sexy. You have that in you?
For a sexy ass bitch.
Really? I don't know if
The
there's
ideas
not
and the
room
goals
in here
behind
for
that
two.
car. The ideas and the goals for that car was to make it a nice car. Naturally, money plays in the factor, but seems how that I'm probably going to do 90% of that one here as well. Now I'm not going to be in a rush to do it. I should be able to take my time and do things a lot better. Yeah, the goal was for it to be a really, really nice build. We'll see how it ends up.
Yeah, and it's meant to front side, right?
Yeah, it was.
More front side?
And the idea when that was happening was for No Prep Kings.
When you were into all that
Yeah,
before
to
the...
do good front sides
Yeah. Let's see here.
where you don't need all the long travel and.
I am not saying that on here, Robert. Let's see here.
Well, at least let me read it.
At least let you read it.
Shit, I'm all about camel toe. What are you talking about?
You weren't supposed to say it. I know somebody in one of the YouTube videos had mentioned that the garage looks bad. What happened to the
Absolutely.
garage cleanup? Well, what happened to the garage cleanup that I performed and put all the nice cabinets in is that I got really overwhelmed with volleyball 3 days a week and then tournaments on the weekend. And now we're done with that. So hopefully, fingers crossed, don't break any more fingers. We'll get back at the garage cleanup. So that will give him more room to work on things.
Give me more room to
Or bring more stuff
pack
in.
more stuff in.
That's exactly right.
I'll have to clean it up before I start doing anything to the other car anyway.
Old Blue, we're not going to paint Raggedy Ann. Sorry, just can't do it. And if we could, if we was going to paint it, just probably white the back quarters.
My goal, my plans are to paint the roof and quarters white.
That's
just
the original.
And the cowl panel, the same as what this car was before I wrecked it at No Prep Kings. So that was the plans. I haven't had time. Like I said, we jumped straight into racing it. We didn't even get the test. and it has to slow down at some point so I can actually dial the car in and do the paying in and try to get the car back to where it is what I'm used to as far as looking at it. I don't plan on leaving it maroon, polka dots, Mondo spots. But
It is what it is for now.
got a little bit of rocker work to do to it too before it gets painted. It's either getting painted or wrapped. I haven't decided.
Okay, let's see. Monty 86 540. Does Allie have a desire to drag race herself? Well, let's talk about that for a minute. The desire is there. Absolutely.
The okay from the mom is
There's reasoning because right now my kids and my husband and my job and everything else is trying to kill me. So,
you get life insurance.
yeah, I do. But not as much as you, so maybe we gotta take care of that this time.
Yeah, we need to raise yours.
Yeah. New job, new policy. So, the thing about Allie is she's a senior now in high school, so she's got all that senior stuff. We haven't announced it on YouTube, but she just accepted commitment for college for volleyball. So, she's got that done going into her senior year. Yay her. We got on the ball quickly. We wanted that decision out of the way before she got to senior year, so it wasn't stressful. We're lucky it's a local college, so she won't be going too far. Probably be staying home while she goes to college. And she's going to try tennis, I think, this year. Why, I don't know. She's trying to kill me, like I said. But she works, and she's at that age where, dates are in the factor. So she's very busy. She has been at the racetrack with us so far this summer. Everything, I think, with everything that happened last year, she really wanted to make sure she was there more. So we try to get her scheduled for that. It doesn't happen, but she likes being a part of it. She does want to do it. Whether or not it gets done, I don't know. Or
She takes a lot of pictures and is like she'll edit them and post them and all that
does
stuff
speak
too.
up just a little bit. You're getting softer.
She takes a lot of pictures.
Yeah.
And then she'll edit them and post them on Facebook or whatever for people.
Yeah.
She's really getting into that. She likes doing that.
Yeah, and she really takes pride in it, so it takes her a little bit longer, especially with her schedule, to get her photos out.
Yeah,
She's really OCD about how they look, which is not a bad thing, but it does take her a lot more time than anybody else. Let's see here.
Awful quiet.
I know, I can't read that fast. Chopper 1. His blown Malibu is called Howard after the movie Lawless because it was badass. He has a Malibu. I'm not sure if you knew that or not, but that was his first car?
No, it wasn't my first car.
Okay.
I've had it since I was 17.
Yeah.
So.
She's an oldie but goodie. I remember when we first got together, because Super Chevy's coming up next weekend. No, not Super Chevy, Good Guys. Good Guys is coming to town next weekend. And I think CJ, it was our first date, I can't remember. But back then, I was afraid to drive on the freeway. It really scared me. For a long time. I think I was 32 before I actually started really getting acclimated with freeways. Now I'll drive anywhere, New York, whatever, it don't bother me. But I made CJ drive me up High Street and go through all the lights in that car, and I was sitting in the race seat, and when he would floor it, the seat would pop out and go backwards because it wasn't bolted down.
Was it the race seat?
Yeah. And the car was like getting hot up there because it was taking so long to go through the lights and everything. And when we came home from that, I was like, man, he must really like me if he'll go through all that trouble to mess up his car.
I should have just took her on the highway.
Way and let me scream the whole time. And we're still kind of like that. CJ don't drive a whole lot unless we're in the RV or in the truck, something big, because
she's scared.
He's wrecked me before. He wrecked me in my parents' car when we first got together.
That was how many years ago?
Yeah, and they still love you.
That was how many years ago?
22?
See what the fuck I'm going through, guys?
22. I remember stuff. Not my fault. But yeah, so, and plus, I mean, anybody that's rode through the West Virginia Turnpike with CJ in a truck and trailer, you know that he's good on a racetrack, but when he's driving, he'll turn around and like talk to you. If you're in the back seat, he can't stay awake for more than 2 hours.
I pay taxes on the whole road, okay?
And he uses every bit of it. So I tend to do most of the driving. Who do you think's going to win Gangster's Paradise? I think that's what you're asking, Tyler. We haven't looked at the updated list,
I'd
but
have to see the list.
there's a lot of great contenders there.
I would not bet on me.
There you go.
We're gonna swing at it, but I wouldn't bet on me. Like the list that I saw, it's called Gangster's Paradise because it's full of fucking gangsters. These guys know their cars. They know everything about them. They've been in them, and even the ones that haven't been in them. You know that there's just a lot of knowledge there with the teams that are coming to it. Like I show a lot of struggle because I am struggling. I'm like trying to learn this as I go. As I said before, when I got that car, it had been a race car. It had been raced.
But it also wasn't what you thought it was.
I changed a lot of stuff on it, but I took it to a shop. They did the initial alignment, the race alignment, the initial chassis setup. Everything was good whenever I got in it. This one, not so much. I'm doing it myself. Yeah, but the only way I'm going to learn it is to do it, and that's kind of where I'm at with it. I could 100% take it somewhere and have it done. I could take it somewhere. Hell, I could get it back tested and ready to go. You know what I mean? But then I didn't learn anything.
So if you had to pick maybe top 5, who would you think would be for Gangster's
I
Paradise?
don't even know who's in it. I'd have to see who's in it.
He's been too busy out here working. He just knows what time he's supposed to show up, what time we can get there to get in the gate, and who he's got to pay, and how much money he's got to have.
I'm sure Casey Max is in it, so he's one. The next motorsports team, there's another. That bank robber car was fast as hell.
SRC.
SRC. They've got 2 cars in it. I mean that's pretty. That's 5 right there. How many did they want?
I was just throwing out a number.
There's Callie Nate with My Little Pony. That car's fast.
I'm saying some of them.
Jasper Grand. I mean,
all 50 of them. I mean, come on,
yeah,
and even then some. Because
like if I could see the list right now, I could go down through there and like, they're gangsters. They're all fast.
Yeah, and there's more than 50 gangsters out there. We all know that.
Yeah, 100%.
But when you put on a race like that, you have to come up with a number, I think, or you'll be up in the 100 car field, and then you won't be able to run 2 races, 2 different nights. I see both sides of it.
Realistically, look at the War in the Woods race.
Yeah.
Like that was plumb full of badasses too.
It always is.
What ended up showing up? Was it 115, 114, or I can't remember what show. Whether it was 80 something.
I think it was
150.
84 or something. But I mean, that's twice a year. War in the Woods is, and then Dig Your Guys got usually some heavy hitters now.
Yep.
It's just
two completely different surfaces though.
Yep, and Limpy and Happy's Cash Days at the Hill, that's picking up steam. They just started that last year at KD.
That should be a fun race.
That's when your car broke up, so we didn't get to finish it, so it'd be nice to get back
Somebody
down
took
there.
off with the head gaskets. We was going to go.
I brought them back.
No, you didn't. No.
I offered to.
By the time you got there, it'd have been
I
race had already been going
I
on.
can't think of everything. I brought your shoes to work so your feet wouldn't get wet. I mean, you want me to wipe your butt too?
But you took off with the head gaskets.
You
And I
should have got
couldn't
them
race.
out.
You shouldn't have left.
I had a kid to take care of.
Live action.
Every day, all day. Let's see. Mama Bear, they'll be in Ohio to see us race soon. looking forward to it. Please swing by and have a conversation with us.
Absolutely.
Beer money isn't coming.
He's not?
No.
What
Like I
happened?
said, CJ wants to know what happened. We haven't really looked. I'm sorry. I mean, we're on social media, but we're not on social media because we're both busy.
That team's they're gangsters.
Yeah.
Like they really are. That car's fast.
Oh, he said because he's not on the list.
I thought he was.
Oh, Lyle Barnett pulled out.
Yeah, that's beer money.
Yeah. Bank robbers, wicked. He's wicked.
Huh?
Sorry, I'll let you read. My eyes are
I don't know where I'm reading that.
at the bottom. He's gonna read it backwards.
Oh, we blew the engine racing turbo gone.
There you go.
Damn it.
Oh, Blue going to try to make it to Katy to meet us. That's a great little track to meet us and see us. I will tell you, we sell about as much merch down there at that little track as what we do when we go to War in the Woods. I don't know why. The fan base for us is just high down there. And I'll say this till I'm blue in the face. Salt of the earth people there. Those are good people down. Well,
Don't look at me. I don't know what the hell salt of the earth means.
hardworking, working class people. Not that any racetrack's like that, but I mean, it's really South Webster, Ohio is not a big city. It's not. It's out there in the sticks. The track goes uphill. It's rough. That's just kind of the way it is.
That's the glory of it.
Yeah, and nobody hardly knows it's there.
They know it's there these days.
Well, nowadays, but they used to not know it was there. So, let's see. Guys, have anything else you want to ask us? Wish we had YouTube stickers so you could donate.
What?
Mr. Arizona, I wish you guys had YouTube stickers so we can donate.
I don't even know what
That is.
Yeah.
So we'll have to
Help us
research
out with
that.
that.
We'll have to research it. There. He told you. That's what salt of the earth people is. Blue collar.
Oh, down to the earth blue collar workers? Yes, they are. 100%. It's just good vibes down there. It's a good time.
See here. I'm going to give this to CJ so I can assess my battery. So.
We turn them on during livers.
Mm-hmm.
How do you turn them on though? Should I start pushing buttons?
No.
No, this is my phone.
Yeah, I know.
Mr. Arizona, what is going on with the red Cobra? Not much.
Do you really want me? Do you want Jess's opinion or do you want
It's
CJ's
kind of just
opinion?
sitting around, really not a whole lot going on with it because all my focus has been on this car. I did have plans of doing stuff with the Cobra, and haven't gotten any traction. There's nothing there. It's not a bad car. It's actually a nicer car than the car than Jeff's car. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with it right now. It's just sitting there.
We had talked about possibly waffling it, but I see it's not ready to be waffled, and we haven't really discussed it fully yet.
That and the way the transmission waffle's going and the Maximizer 5 waffle's going, I'm not trying to waffle a whole car off.
And it takes forever.
6 years later, still not have it full.
And that, and we did have somebody come out and look at it, a friend come out and look at it, but that's usually as far as it goes. So,
Thanks, Mike.
what?
He's messaging in. So we can you got to set up the YouTube account so that people can buy stickers while we're live.
Mm-hmm.
And let's donate.
Yeah.
I'm watching myself move after I move. So.
Kind of
Weird.
scary, isn't it? So if I hit you, it will have a delayed reaction?
Yeah, actually it would.
That's awesome.
Any advice on going to the hill at KD?
Tell them your experience.
Stay in the throttle till you're about 60 foot up the hill, and then everybody veers to the center.
Not at the same time.
Yeah, not at the same time, side by side. But if your car sits low, if your headers go underneath, like this car, I can let off at the stripe once I put the front exit headers on it. My AFR headed headers would drag because they set lower. Yeah, the trick flow headed headers didn't so much if I stayed on the throttle. And then, like I said, the front exits, I could hit the brakes at the stripe and never hit nothing. So far, I haven't had any issues with this car dragging anything other than the tire. The first time there, the tire got into the quarter and tore it up a little bit there. And did some massaging and moving stuff around, and it seems to be fine. I did raise the back of the car up a little bit. But yeah, the hill's extremely intimidating until you go up it a few times, and once you get it figured out, it's just like any other track, other than like this car takes it a lot better so far.
Yeah, I was really
Granted,
worried
I
because
haven't had
that
the
car
mile
sets
per hour.
low.
I haven't had the mile per hour with this one yet that I did with this one. But this car, like I would go through, I would hit the brakes at the stripe or at the line, and it's got a little dip, and then it goes up. And I would bounce, like the car would bounce off the ground. I'd just lock the brakes up, and it would slide and skid and bounce all the way up the hill. And then I would get stopped soon enough to turn. But I couldn't imagine having another 10, 12, 13 mile an hour. I don't think that car would have got stopped. And it was drum brakes also on the back.
Yeah, we hope we get back up to Lucky's Drag City. Really like that track. If you guys have not checked out that track yet, I mean, you live up in the northern, is it PA?
Yes,
PA. Northern PA, Lake Erie area. That's a good little track. And
You got a cat, dude.
it's not my cat, it's the people, the renters that moved out next door. I'm sorry for you cat lovers, my dogs don't like them. But, I mean, they're good micers, but yeah, it's been tearing out my trash along with the raccoon.
Alright, continue.
Okay, continue. But yes, back to Lucky's. If you've not been to that track, it's about 4 hours from us, north. Great track. Great track. Love it.
It's not a great track, it's a tricky track.
It's a tricky track, which makes it a
But
great
it's
track.
cool, yeah.
Yeah, we like that. Let's see. Good question,
Got a few
Lonnie.
different surfaces on it and all that stuff. Transitions. Yeah, that was a fun time there. I had a good time there.
Yeah, we had Darren with us. We won that one. That was nice. Yeah. Back to KD real quick. Darren absolutely loves going down that hill in the golf cart. He loves that. So we do get him out and try to get him down that hill before everybody gets there. He enjoys that a lot. Okay, this is a good question. I like this question because it's kind of like
They're all good questions.
yeah, they are, but this one, not everybody. It's kind of different. With all of the small player races getting larger payouts, are you concerned?
Small tire.
Small player. You'll get it when I read it. With all the small player races getting larger payouts, are you concerned that the cars along the lines of Big Chief competing in them will squish the little guys out? You understand the question?
It's small tire.
Yes. Okay.
Money ruins everything. Not
Can
so
we
much.
replay this to you?
This is just my take on it. Chief is a smart man. Big tire, small tire, no tire. He's gonna figure it out. He loves data. He understands it all. Those kind of guys that come and come into the small tire, the backside racing and stuff like that. And not even so much him, because like Jackie's car isn't so much different than like ours.
Yeah.
But when you bring a double frame rail tube chassis big tire car and you put small tires on it and you have endless pockets and you've got the chassis guys doing the chassis on it for small tires and making the changes and all this stuff, and you come over to some of these small tire races, like once those guys figure it out, yeah, they're going to come to one or two races and get their dick kicked off. But once those kind of guys figure it out, if they take a liking to it, you better make sure your shit's on point. Trying to think of how to put it. They're gonna go fast. They will figure it out. If they want to put the effort into it, because money's not an object. If they can't figure it out, they'll hire somebody to do it, or however it works. I don't know. I don't have money, but
I think
it's hard to compete when you've got a lot of knowledge and a lot of money and the desire to do something. And just flat out. So
I think we kind of ran into that when we started the MPK journey, when the first year that they came around, and we were following the circuit with
yeah,
that.
the first year, like hell, I was competitive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because there wasn't a lot of rules. They were still trying to figure that out. Jerry was toting your ass everywhere. Jerry Lice was toting his ass everywhere. We had a trucking business that was bringing in extra income that we don't have now.
But we could have.
I'm a no for the trucking thing, but that's a whole
But
other
anyway,
story. But I think back to the question is what he's asking is if these big guys come into these small races for the small guys and with the big payouts and kind of dominate, and these small people start, frowning away from the races.
then it'll be all the big guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it'll
That's
be
what happens
squishing them out.
If you don't have money, that's how. I'm assuming that's how it evolves anyway, because then you'll have the super fast guys with no limits, tube chassis, the $150,000 to $200,000 cars. They threw on a small tire and have people coming in from across seas to make it go down the surface. And then you'll have the regular blue collar, salt of the earth or whatever, people. In another class that isn't so
City boy.
so extravagant, but I don't know how to put it. Like, I honestly feel like I messed up building the car the way I did, because I didn't build a tube chassis, super lightweight, go all out and all that, but it's just not what I wanted. And it's not going to be competitive in a lot of places. So I will still have to pick and choose some of the stuff I go to. I'm not so much now, like we're swinging over ahead and out of our league at some of these races that we're going to now. But when you get those guys that come in and they start dominating, like the smaller guy go out and they know they're donating. If they go to a race and they're donating their money to the big guys, just can't compete.
And no, that's not the cat that was from next door. I don't know where the cat is, but no. Okay.
Hold on.
No.
Well, that's a different one that
I
just
know,
walked through
and
there. There's
it-
a black and white one that just walked through there.
I don't know. It's got a color, so it's domesticated. Okay, we're rolling.
Let's-
It's getting past your bedtime.
Let's let the dogs out.
No. You've got people on here that like cats. Don't do that. Hillbilly Redneck. Just out of curiosity, what do you think your weight to horsepower ratio is? What do you think? Honey, don't come in here, please. Thank you. Appreciate that.
There are mice in here though.
Okay,
At the
question.
barn. I have no idea. I've never even thought about weight to horsepower ratio. Make it light, give it much power. I know this car is a couple 100 pounds light, and I don't even remember what it weighs now. But it's a couple 100 pounds lighter than that car.
Ease and Breeze YouTube. Hope your flight to Colorado goes well. Hopefully we'll see you at Gangster's Paradise. I know you were at War in the Woods and I think we missed you, but I can't remember. It's still, my mind's still kind of boggled from all that.
Who is it? Ease and Breeze.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What's up, buddy?
Did you see him at War in the Woods? I know he was there. I didn't get a chance to see him. So, at least you got to see Jim. Yes, Mr. Arizona, the new shirts are coming out. Let's talk about the new shirts. So, CJ, this drives CJ nuts, and I'm sorry, because...
Should have been out 3 years ago.
Yes, it should have, but it's kind of dropped the ball on both sides. So the new shirt is going to have a picture of, I've already seen the proof of it. It's going to have a picture of the old car doing a wheelie over an autism puzzle strip area. It's got to keep Nitrous alive on it. It's got autism awareness on it. On the front chest, it has an autism piece on it, and it says Raggedy Ann Ohio Small tire. I was happy with it, but CJ showed it to Billy, I think it was, and Billy and CJ discussed that it needed a little bit more. So we came up with that we wanted to put the sponsors, the businesses, at the bottom underneath the autism pieces. Shut up. So anyways.
I got stuff to say about this.
No, you don't. We're going to hit pause. So I sent all of
they
the...
have a right to know.
No, because I'll bring up your dirty...
It ain't dirty.
Non-contributors. So I sent the pictures back for the businesses, and some of the pictures weren't high quality for them to get them on the shirts. So they're researching and trying to add those as we speak. As soon as that's done, they will be put on the store link for pre-order only until enough is ordered and I can buy stock. Don't make me beat you tonight. And not in that way.
I specifically said it needs more. We need to put sponsors on there, because without them,
I wanted that for the next
without them, we wouldn't have what we have, be where we're at.
I agree.
And it wasn't until Billy and I talked about it that you thought it was a good idea. Billy, huh?
No. That's jailbait. Anyways.
No, yeah. It
So-
definitely needed to get the sponsors.
When
out
he
there.
says sponsors, I think of not just businesses, but the people also.
Everybody that's.
And I want to do a tribute shirt once the car is done and photographed for us to do. We're going to put everybody's name on the back of the shirt. Businesses, people included that donated to the car. So when he mentioned sponsors, that's where my mind went. I didn't want it on the autism shirt. I wanted to keep it separate. But after him and Billy's conversation, I did agree with them, so I sent it in to be revised, and that's what we're waiting on. So, Miss...
Glad we got that out of the way.
Good? Are we good now, or do we need to fight it out?
You want to fight, you need to get them sticker things up there.
I'll
The
meet
more
you.
they pay, the harder I'm going to beat her.
I'll meet you in the bedroom later, maybe?
You probably lay out here for a week. Anyway.
Let's see. Mr. Arizona, new small tire size will be 2610. That will level the playing field. What do you think about that?
The new tire size is going to be a 2610.
That's what it says.
I would think they would go 2685. I don't know. That car got down on some 2685s when I first brought it out.
That's what Tyler said. He says 2685 will take off.
That might be get all these big dogs to come in. I mean, the big dogs are going to go where the money's at. Look at all the big tire racers. They were all big tire, big tire, big tire. And I said it years ago. Many others has said it years ago. Small tires where it's at. Once people started realizing that, now the big tire guys are going on small tires, like about all of them. And they're coming in with some force because they're fast. I mean, they got all the power they need. They got good chassis, and they just got to figure it out on a small tire. And once they do, they're fast as hell. Hell, Swamp Things come into mind.
Yeah.
And then Joey, he put that thing on small tires and he wins all kinds of races. Congratulations to him on all the wins.
Yes, Mr. Arizona, as soon as the shirt's out, it'll be everywhere, I promise. But everybody, it's a really nice looking shirt, and we're going to donate a portion of the proceeds of the shirts to the Autism Awareness Foundation, so we'll go over that once they're completed. I can give you a date, but I would probably be wrong, so I'm just keeping it light on it till they're done. Let's see. CJ, did you find anybody to airbrush the front of the car yet? Well, Mike knew somebody.
I never heard anything from him.
And haven't heard from him, but yes, we wanted it airbrushed and we wanted it a graffiti-like lettering for Raggedy Ann on the front of the bumper. That was the ideal for it, but we've kind of dropped the ball and haven't followed through with it. We've been busy, so.
Well, I kind of think the front needs painted or cleared or something.
It's a little tacky still.
Yeah, this is forever and a day. It's been painted. You lean on it and like you stick to it. Excuse me.
Alright, so, here we go, blame it on Mike. Mike, it's always your fault. It's been your fault for 22 years, remember? Or is it 25? How long have you...
I don't blame it on Mike.
Nah, not Mike's fault. He tried. Do most races have a class for daily driven 6-7 second cars?
A lot of them are, it depends on,
The track?
well, they've got like, what is it? Late model or something of that nature, but it has to be newer than a certain year because it's so hard to, I mean, let's be real, there's 4-second cars out there, those 4s and the 8s that can be driven
They're saying
daily
we're frozen, let me see.
or something like that. Basically, once you get into the turbo cars, I mean, the sky is the limit. So
My battery's running low, that's why we're frozen.
There are typically some sort of class that will accommodate that area, whether it be 6.0, 7.0 index racing, whether it be like your late model or whatever it is they call it, or daily driver. I mean, they might just call it daily driver, and anything that can make the cruise gets in. Which the street car classes, like I used to race that car in the street car classes because it fit the rules. Technically, it was a small tire car, but it fit the rules. But a lot of them do, and stick shift. Stick shift is getting traction. It's starting to come around, which I think that would be a fun class to race.
Are you gonna, build me a car and pretend like it's mine and race it? Is that your plan for that stick
You
shift?
gonna race it? Somebody's gotta race it. Keep cobwebs out of it.
Yeah, it froze because my battery's getting low. So we'll take a couple more comments or questions, and then we'll call it a night. And
Maybe go do it again sometime in the future.
yeah, and
We'll
another.
get some more stuff figured out with
With
it now that we know that it works. You see how she cut me off on that last comment though, right? Whenever I was answering the question.
No, you're just rambling on. So you don't know how to end conversations. So we have to
Usually with a middle finger.
No. Brian Frey, he has a stick shift 6-7 daily driven car. That's why he probably was asking. Was it KDE had a lot of daily?
Yeah, they had some, and I don't even remember what it was called, but there was a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
And it was, shit. I forget what it was called.
Yeah, me too. I looked at the flyer 1,000 times.
Your basic street driven average cars.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big class.
Tyler, Real Street Revolution.
Real Street Revolution.
That's what
yeah.
it was. Thank you, Tyler.
Tyler knows everything.
See, he just knows. So, But yeah, we'll try to get, and we're gonna do some testing before, if we can, if weather pans out
For what?
before the race.
Are you answering a question?
No, I'm just
Oh.
saying in general. I would like to get a video update of that posted before we leave for the race, but I don't know if it'll happen or not. So we'll see. If not, we will have one about testing and racing posted by at the end of the weekend.
Well, I mean, do we want to be real right now?
No sugar cutting.
My battery's low now too.
Yep, but the batteries are gonna low. Real quick, wrap it up.
I'm not 100% sure on how many passes these tires have left on them, and I can't afford to buy another set of tires before the race this weekend, so I don't have nitrous and I don't want to wear the tires out.
So you're thinking
So as far as making more than 2 test passes, I don't think,
that's gonna cut it.
I mean, 2 test passes might, because it's going to tell me whether it's breaking up on a big end or
Yeah.
not, but I'm not going to make one change and make a pass, make one change, make a pass, make one change, and wear the tires out before we go to the race.
Yes, sorry, I agree.
So,
But you showed up untested before at races and done okay. It's a different.
not one like this motherfucker.
So, yes, good point. G2K will be live streaming for anybody that can't make it. Their feed is awesome, and there will be other media there, so make sure you check them out. But yes, G2K, absolutely high quality stuff. Robert Young, we'll see you this weekend. Old man from Indianapolis, safe drive down. Yeah, I will probably follow. Usually anything under 4 hours I've been following CJ because of some repairs we need to do to some things. So just as a safety issue, I tend to follow. So I believe War in the Woods we went down with no tags.
Had tags.
No, you didn't get to the inspection place.
Well, whenever you have an out-of-state inspection, that's good for 30 days. You don't need a tag.
No, you went before the inspection. You got the inspection, so we were. Yeah, our cop friends on here just act like we didn't say that. So
Perfectly legal.
Yeah.
Last I heard, I lost my tail lights. There's
Yeah.
no brake lights. I got brake lights and tail
It
lights.
depends on if the headlights are on. So we need
No,
to.
on the trailer.
Oh yeah. So I follow CJ as a safety issue for now, and we try not to drive in the dark anymore. We're getting old. So that's kind of going to be it for tonight, guys. We're wrapping it up because sorry if you just. Both of our batteries are going dead. We tried to charge up before we got on here. So we appreciate you tuning in. If you missed this one, we just said we're going to try to do another one sometime. And if you have questions, just post them in the comments and CJ will try to look back when he can and answer them. So that's good.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Tell all your friends, like, share,
And
subscribe, buy merchandise, all that good stuff. Get in on the waffles. Everything helps.
Every little bit helps. And if you've actually emailed the store site trying to contact us, if you've not gotten a reply, that is one of the things I'm lacking on. So I will have to go check the emails. I'll have to remember the password. I know somebody had emailed on there. That's one of the things that I can't do everything all the time. I'm not Superwoman, babe. I'm trying. You all trying to kill me.
At least be super. Fuck the woman.
I am. I'm super great. You got dinner tonight in a timely manner.
4 little pieces of pizza. I'm withering away to nothing.
You had 5. I had 4. You got 1 more than me. And if you got my tomatoes, I would have made you a salad. All right, guys. That's it. We'll see you soon.
Yeah,
Keep watching. Thanks.
I'm gonna watch you get up and walk away.
Mm-hmm.